Waiting for people to leave, leave, leave. Oh my God, somebody drove their ragtop Mustang to work? It's going to be like 30 degrees out here. Well, as much as I like convertibles and looking at them, I've never actually owned one. This is the closest thing to a convertible I've ever had because these top panels come off. I haven't got the intricate studio lighting on because, once again, I am sitting here waiting for somebody to move because it's getting around that time. But at the same time, I know there's a couple other people who are doing the same thing. But okay, weirdness in the world in general. Um, Sadly, like I said, there's not a whole lot of Doctor Who news going on right now because I don't think that's a handicap spot up there great. I can go look at it because I got time. Hang on a second. See, I just don't care where it is. I just want a handicap space to put my car in because otherwise I can't park up here due to certain rules. No, like I said, it was way too far down. It wasn't. So right now you can hear me, but you cannot see me because I am having to move the car again. And you got to watch out down here too because these people drive like frickin' like it's Le Mans in the parking lot. I'm not kidding. They do outrageous speeds out here. People are like, we can't see you, Dr. Freedom. And it's a good thing, you ugly old bastard. Oh. So now I got to sit here and circle till the other shift leaves or other department because once again they've got us all working at once. For the last few weeks it was bliss. I'd pull in here and there was like 2 or 3 spaces. And now we're back to this garbage where I got to sit here spinning my wheels and no, there's a bunch of people out there going, what the hell does this have to do with Doctor Who? Not a damn thing. See, that guy can park up there because he's driving a certain product. I cannot because I do not own a certain product. Like we got this jackass over here acting like he might be waiting on somebody to come out. But at the same time, I highly doubt it. That car looks familiar. It looks very familiar. As in one of the ones that normally parks out here. See, my memory isn't completely shot because... You see, sadly, I know this one truck is leaving. But what it is he's got the car set to start out remotely at a certain time. So his car will be warmed up when he gets out. Now, I've owned multiple cars where this was an option. And I've never used it because I'm too paranoid. I've always had that premonition that I would get out early one day and... There we go. I would get out early one day, I'd take the car home, and then the damn thing, like an hour later, would start in the garage. And So, not a whole lot going on Doctor Who news-wise. Like I said, this is normal right now because all we have is we're pretty much on standby to find out what's going on with Series 3. We already know Series 2 has been approved and it's already filmed. I mean, it's in the can. That'll probably air this spring. We got Joy to the World coming up in just a few weeks. I'm watching the people leave here. They probably think I'm a creepy stalker guy. I am stalking you for your parking spot, you slow shit. So now I gotta wait for, and the worst part is this guy right here, he's gonna come out and get into his already warm truck and sit there another 5-10 minutes. But okay, sorry, I went quiet there. I was just watching something. And it ticks me off too, because for a while there I was getting on pretty close to on time. But now I gotta sit here and wait. Hang on, what's this guy doing? Oh, okay, he sees the person he's gonna pick up. No, he ain't. Hold on. Hang on. A pair of headlights, I think, just went on. Move your car. Move your car. Get into it. Start it. Drive off to live a life of happiness and rich religious fulfillment. Okay, of course, this is the moment when their grandma is going to crawl up my backside because I'm not moving till that car moves. It's a miracle! They got into their car, started it, and left. Hang on. It's something that rarely happens. Ah, you dick. No, sure enough, the guy in front of me. Okay, I'll straighten this out when it's a little bit less hectic out here. All right. And sure now there's a bunch of guys with frowny faces behind me go, you asshole. Okay, Okay, there we go. Now we can turn on the intricate studio lighting because I'm not in stealth mode. Prepare to launch the torpedoes, Mr. Christian. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I think that seems to be the plan as far as airing with, like Roger just said. Apparently they're simulcasting the Christmas special. They're simultaneously releasing it and blah blah blah. And also apparently they'll probably do the same thing with the upcoming series. But like I said, it's just sad that we're all zoned out and freaking out about Series 3. And it's kind of bad for RTD too, because remember, there's going to be no more gap years. We're not doing the gap year thing anymore. And it's like, somebody's standing outside here. All right, so no news as far as Series 3 goes. We won't have that for a while. But I think I know the reason why. Remember, Disney is in a tizzy right now. For you folks who've not been keeping up on this, and this is going to affect what's going on, okay? Gina Carano is going to trial against Disney. And Disney knows they do not have a frickin' leg to stand on. All right? When they fired Gina Carano, they had no excuse to, other than the fact they didn't like her post on Twitter. I think it was Twitter back then, or was it X? I don't know. But you see, their worst nightmare has happened because Elon Musk, a bottomless pit of money, probably even bigger than their Disney coffers at this point, is backing her up. Just to give you an idea, it wasn't a hateful tweet. It wasn't even a mean tweet. It's just the way she phrased it. A bunch of people threw a fit and they fired her. And it's amazing to me how quickly that the First Amendment no longer matters. Because if you say something and somebody don't like it, and they just happen to be an executive in your company, you're fired. Folks, this was not only blatant, they had an entire series, Rangers of the New Republic, in which she was going to star, got scrapped. Now I want you to imagine, just because they didn't like something that Gina Carano tweeted, or X'd, or whatever they call it these days, an entire show full of people were out of a job. Just to show you what dicks Disney were, they stopped production on her action figure. A figure that was probably making money. So basically they're saying Cara Dune never existed. She just dropped through a black hole one day. And now hopefully people are going to learn. If you say something stupid, okay, you said something stupid. If somebody got offended by that, somebody's going to be offended by anything and everything that you do in this century. But to say that you might offend somebody, therefore we're going to, fire you from your job. Like I said, unless it was like blatant hate speech, you've incited people to riot, or if you incited people to convict some sort of, act of violence, and I don't mean spoken violence, I mean physical violence, then you shouldn't have a right to fire them. Because that's protected speech under the First Amendment of the United States, which Disney began in. But sadly, whoever has the gold makes the rules. That's the way we've gone. That's the route we've gone down. Some companies are actually posting things, on their walls saying, if you post something on your social media that we find or deem this, blah, 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 we can terminate you. Well, that means, most everything you're going to say in your life is somehow going to offend someone on planet Earth. It's an impossible goal to hit. You're never going to please everyone all the time. It's not going to happen. But like I said, I'm just amazed this stuff is going on in the United States of America, but at the same time I'm not, because that's the country we've become. So, how does this affect Doctor Who, you're saying? Because Disney is now fighting against her, and they know it's going to end up in a settlement. Because they have no way out of this. I'm not kidding. I do not see or foresee a way that they can get around the fact that they basically the mouse took a big fat shit on the First Amendment. So let me get this straight. You terminated an entire show that already had been scripted, was already given the green light, and, you fired its main star. And you don't have any other reason than she said something you didn't like on social media. That's a slam dunk. My cat could litigate this one in court and get a winning verdict. It's government 101. It's civics 101. So now Disney is in a bind. Also, with the fact that the only major hit I think they've had, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the last couple of years regarding their Marvel lineup is Deadpool and Wolverine. And now these guys are controlling the purse strings for the purse strings for Doctor Who. And now they got to sit there and wonder, okay, even though Doctor Who's actually on the lower end of their budget. So yeah, all that big budget stuff you saw, that's Disney's lower end budget. And the thing is that gets me going is they should have had a plan to put forward in case this happened. Because there's been a lot of complaints. I put up an article not long ago from fans of various series about how long it's taking to get another series of a show on. Now, if I said something untrue, oh yeah, that's not covered by free speech. You see the difference? Libel and slander are crimes. Mentioning a bunch of, making a bad simile or metaphor using jackbooted guys from 70 years ago or 100, oh, well, hell, it has been that long, 80 years ago, is just a bad tweet and it's dumb. But you know what? I have so lost track of The Last of Us. I haven't even looked to see when the next series is coming. Because how long ago was that the series 1 aired? And that ending they shot for the Walking Dead series, oh my God. It's the first helicopter anyone has seen in how many, like a decade. And the only two people that show up are Rick's kids. Budget. But okay, yeah, she offended people. She did say something, I will say, that, the reference I think was pretty dumb. But you shouldn't be fired because you said something dumb. You see the difference? What if my landlord keeps saying I'm adopted? I like that one. I don't recall Gina denying the Holocaust happened. I don't know where he got that one from. Now, if she had said we need to go out and murder a bunch of people, then yeah, you definitely deserve to be fired. But she didn't. I don't recall Gina Carano ever saying, anything about the Holocaust or denying it. So, I don't know where that came from. She compared something that was going on to the Nazi regime, if I remember correctly, and some people didn't like it, so they fired her. And I said, look, that's her opinion. She didn't say you were. She didn't accuse them of being Nazis. She didn't say they were Nazis. And yes, it was a dumb reference. But she didn't say go out and murder people. Mm-hmm. If she'd said that, then hell yeah, you deserve to be fired. If she had made something up completely out of the blue, like, say, the mouse made me do this, or the mouse said that, then yeah, you're under libel and slander at that point. And that's a crime. Similes, metaphors, the English language. Now here's the thing, did he know their nationality? It could have been a simple mistake. All right, I got to straighten this car out in a minute. But yeah, no, I never recall her denying the Holocaust. I don't know where that came from. And comparing and using a bad metaphor is not a crime. Trust me, I just got done listening to the Remo Williams books again, and if they had written Chun into the movie the way they had him written in the books, oh goodness gracious. He was Korean and he couldn't stand any other Asian culture, but that was that character. I know, I am way over time. She's right. So I got to get going. Be kind, be calm, be safe, everybody. I got to run inside because I keep reminding myself this clock up here on the thing's a couple of minutes slow. So consider that. There's a difference between offending someone and there's a difference between committing a crime. So be kind, be calm, be safe. Just remember above everything else, just be kind to everyone. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. She was a Holocaust